If you've ever done focus bracketing, then you must have come across the term focus differential, especially if you own an OM system gear or just any camera that can do autofocus bracketing. So what is focus differential and what focus differential should you use for your focus bracket? I'm David Joseph, macro wildlife photographer based in Nigeria, and in this video I'm going to tell you the ABCD to Z of focus differential. So let's get into it. Focus differential is the amount of consecutive focus shift between each shot when you're doing focus bracketing. For instance, when you're taking a focus bracket, you'll observe that your camera will move and keep moving till it gets to a particular point where you click the shutter or it feels that it's enough to stop the bracket. So during that time, the movement is determined by the focus differential that you had set for your camera. For instance, if you use a focus differential of 3, then your camera will move at 0.3, and if it's 2, then your camera will move at 0.2. But these focus differential, they have certain range, like a certain range from 1 to 10, like in my camera. And when you're using a focus differential with, let's say, a number 1, let's call that low, it's going to move little by little. But if you're using a number like 5, it's going to skip more and it will still get the job done. So what focus differential should you use for every picture you take or for a certain picture you want to take? What are the pros and cons? First thing, if you are using a smaller focus differential like 1 or 2, then you will have the advantage of getting an overall sharper result. And this is because it's not missing any frame or any part of the image, and at most it's overlapping. And when you combine those together, you get an even sharper image. And that is why focus differential of 1 or 2 is very much used by pro macro photographers, because it just gives them more sharp results. But this doesn't mean that focus differential 1 or 2 is for everyone and you should always use it, and I'm going to get to that very soon. If you're using a focus differential of 3, 4, or 5, then it also has its advantage because you'll be able to complete the bracket in a little time, and you will also be able to maintain stability because of course it's little time, and it's going to be suitable for a camera if you're not using a pro camera that can just quickly fire the bracket and all of that. So yeah, that also has its pros and of course its cons as well. And back to the first one, whereby using narrow focus differential like 1 or 2, if you're using a focus differential of 1 or 2, you need a pro camera that will be able to fire at least 10 frames per second, and you will also need a flash that is going to be able to keep up with that speed, that firing speed, without like maybe not firing at a certain frame, because if it does, I mean, that's still a miss frame. So using a focus differential of 1 or 2 requires more power, more processing power, and of course you are going to fill your cards faster. And if you're not someone that is stable, then you will likely miss the shot, or if the subject does not wait till the bracket is done, then of course you will still miss the shot. So you need to know when to use focus differential 1 or 2, and it's mainly suitable if you're like a pro photographer and then you have a strong computer that will be able to just work on the images regardless of how many the number of frames are going to be. If you're using a large focus differential like let's say 3, 4, or 5, and I don't really think 3 is large. I think 3 is just in between. 3 is a very good spot, like a sweet spot of focus differential. So yeah, that's a sweet spot between someone who is like maybe not so pro and not so beginner. So yeah, that's what I'd recommend for a lot of people. Now, if you're using 3, you do have the luxury of not filling up your cards, finishing the brackets sooner and all of that. But then you don't have the luxury of maybe skipping frames. But the advantage is that that is hardly going to happen because you are going to finish the bracket quickly and your flash will be able to keep up with the number of shots that it will take, because it's going to take very few shots. And I have a demonstration to show you and just show you the number of shots that each differential does and just the result, how it is, so that you'll be able to know which one is the best for you. But then I also do have my own recommendations, which I'm going to share just after this sample video. Even fewer shots. This is a picture of a plastic spider I took to use for demonstration, and this was taken at differential 2. So let's see, we are going to count the number of shots and later on we are going to stack the photo and just see how sharp or how less sharp it is. So this is taken at 1:1 magnification, and yeah, let's go. So at focus differential 2, from where I start to where I end, I have 31 frames, and I'm going to render it. I'm not going to do any retouching. I'll just render it and I'll export. This is what I meant by PC power, because I mean it's not every PC that is going to be able to do this smoothly. So yeah, you can hear how my PC starts making those loud noises. So that's also part of it. And it's just like 30 frames. So imagine if it were more. Okay, so here is it at focus differential 2, and I'm not going to retouch. I'm just going to like do it a little bit of zooming in. I'm not retouching, just getting there to just like I'll zoom in, and we can see how it is. Yeah, and I'm going to save. We are going to look at the final result later. So this is 65 shots, and that is times 2 of what we had at focus differential 2, and that is a lot, to be honest. Very much, very many. So let's see. It's exporting right now. Oh, not exporting, rendering. How many minutes have we recorded thus far? Oh boy, this part is even longer than the actual video. From this, we are finding out that it's yeah, it's really pressing my PC, and yeah, that is what I meant by a smaller focus differential having this disadvantage of it's just going to be so much for the PC, and yeah. But then it has its pros, right? Now imagine if you are using like focus differential 1, and you're photographing a subject that had a little bit of shake, or maybe the shake was from you. It's going to be very, very difficult to like just, like clean it up, patch it up, and all of that. So that is another disadvantage of using focus differential 1. And if you're using something like 2, 3, or even 4, it's not going to be that difficult, because you can easily locate the frame that the shake was from and just do it. So you see, this is focus differential 1, and till now it's still like loading, so it's not an easy task. It wasn't so for differential 2, because it was just 30 something shots, 31. But this one, it's taking all the time in the world. And there it is done. And I think I'll do one thing. I'm going to like add how long it took to finish a certain stack at a certain focus differential, so we just like get to see it, how it was and what it's like. Yeah. Looks good, looks good. So I'll just save this one, and yeah. For these shots I used OM system OM1 with the 60 mm macro and f5.6 for aperture and 1/50 for shutter speed. So I'm moving on to the next one, which is focus differential 3. Remember, at focus differential 2 we had 31 shots, and focus differential 1 we had 65 shots. That is like 100% more than what we had at focus differential 2. And now at focus differential 3 we have 21 shots, and if you observe, the drop right now is less. I mean, it's just like 33.7% drop. 33.3% drop. At least I'm very good at math, am I? So I'm going to render focus differential 3 right now, and it's not going to take as much time as it took to render focus differential 1. I love this microphone holder. Well, and the microphone too. Very fun. Can use it as well. Yeah. And I can also use it as. Oh no, I want to try that. It's risky. So focus differential 3, and take into consideration the processing time, which is what I spoke about. If you don't have a strong PC, because it's really going to like take it to the maximum. But boom, it's done. I'm going to save it now. So I got these plastic spiders just because of this. I knew having to use an actual spider wouldn't work because it would move and it wouldn't just let the exercise be accurate. So the next one is going to be focus differential 4, and it starts from, I'll take it from 80 and it ends at 94. So that has witnessed another like 33.3 to like 40% drop compared to the other one, like focus differential 3. We have 15 shots here, and I'm going to render this one. This is focus differential 4, 1:1 magnification. Yeah, that's the sound. It's so fucking loud. Yeah, and it's done. And oh boy, so I just saved that, and wow, this is 26 minutes, like just this exercise. I did do another test at 2:1 magnification, so let me know if you'd like to see that one as well. I just don't feel I should include it because this is already too long. So I'm going to compare the sharpness, the number of shots it took, the time it took to render, and all other details, and I'll let you know which one is the better one or the right one. And yeah, that's it for now. I'll be back. So this is focus differential 2, and what I'll do is I'm going to drop a link in the description. It's going to be a Google Drive link, which will have these images in full res, so you can like check and compare the sharpness level. The image has not like been retouched or edited. This is just it straight out of the camera after focus stacking. And yeah, I think this is pretty sharp. Yeah, at focus differential 2. This is focus differential 1. And for me, there isn't like really any noticeable difference between focus differential 2 and focus differential 1. And I don't know if maybe when it's edited there'd be like a difference, but for now there isn't really any difference. So this is focus differential 1. And this is focus differential 3. Am I seeing any difference? Well, I think at least to the naked eye, it's quite difficult to see a difference. But I think there is a difference between focus differential 1 and focus differential 3, but I'm not so sure. Just it's very very difficult to spot if there's any. And to focus differential 4, I do feel there's a difference here. The details are not like very pronouncing as it is in focus differential 1. And I feel that's only where there's been a difference. Let's say, like, look at this spot, this area here, and come to focus differential 4 to look at it. It feels a little bit softer because, I mean, at points like that where it just kind of like has to bend or go over to certain places, you're going to spot differences there because it's not like really repeated that spot. So yeah, I observe a little bit of slight softness here compared to the one that was taken at focus differential 1. And I feel that could also apply to like spots like this. So that is the only place that I've kind of like spot any difference between all four differentials. And it took like three other differentials apart for me to notice that difference because at focus differential 2 and 3, I never like noticed that. So that's it. So for me, I don't think any of those differentials are bad. I mean, they're all good, even focus differential 4. And I'm going to make some recommendations right now. Now, if you are a beginner macro photographer or just a little bit after beginner and you're just getting into focus bracketing and stacking, or you just want to get into it, and maybe you own an older model of Olympus camera or any camera that is a little bit old and not like the latest cameras, and you want to get into focus bracketing, I recommend you use Focus Differential 4. It's really going to help you get into it and not feel frustrated. And it's also going to help you be able to get scenes like prey scenes or maybe spiders with babies and spiders with sack, things like that. And as you go, you could like just up it a little bit by moving on to Focus Differential 3. Now, if you're a beginner but you own a camera like OM1 or M1 Mark II, any of those new OM cameras, I recommend Differential 3 for you because that is it's I mean your camera will just pap, 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 you know the sound, and it will just do it for you within a couple of seconds. So yeah, I should use Differential 3 if you're a beginner and you're using a new camera. But if you're a beginner and you're using an older camera, stick to Differential 4. At Differential 3 and Differential 4, there really isn't much difference in terms of the number of shots you will need, even though I just took like a couple of shots. I mean, you won't even need up to like 100 shots at that differential. So it's all going to be the same on your PC. It's not like really going to drain it or like maybe strain it. So whichever one you use, it's almost going to be the same thing on your PC. Another set of people I recommend the Focus Differential 3 for are people that are intermediate but are using older model of Olympus cameras or just any other camera that does focus bracketing. I recommend Focus Differential 3 for you. And this is because it has to like be able to compensate with the camera how it's going to like fire the shot. And don't also forget about the flash power. You see, the type of flash you use also matters because you need a flash that will be able to keep up with the firing speed of your camera. For me, right now, I use the OM1 and I'm still using the Godox V3500 I use with my Olympus EM5 Mark II, and it still keeps up pretty well with the OM1, even when I'm shooting at 1 over 30 second, 32 of flash power. And that's something rare, but yeah, it does keep up even though it's going to struggle at certain points, like if it gets to maybe like 60, 70 frames, but it's hardly going to like miss, but it's also going to consume a lot of flash power. So yeah, it's not an issue, but yeah, that's I just had to let you know. So if you're an intermediate and you're using, I don't know if intermediate is the right word. Let's say you're just in between a pro and a beginner and you're using an older model of OM system Olympus, because I don't think OM system have any older model cameras right now. And you're using an older model of Olympus cameras, then I recommend Focus Differential 3 for you. If you're an intermediate in macro photography and focus bracketing and you're using newer model Olympus or M system cameras, then Focus Differential 2 is just right for you. And even if you're a pro, I recommend Focus Differential 2 for you if you're using one of these super cameras because it just takes a couple of seconds and it's done. I mean, if you use 3, you're going to feel like you did not even do anything trying to stack that shot. So use Focus Differential 2, and this is just a very good way to balance sharpness and also balance speed. So yeah, it's going to be very good for you. You have a capable flash, and of course, at Focus Differential 2, there really isn't much difference in terms of number of shots between Focus Differential 2 and Focus Differential 3. Now, if you want, or let's say you're obsessed with sharpness and you have a very good PC and you have a stronger flash like the V860 series or so, then you can use the Focus Differential 1. I mean, there's no harm in doing that. And you also have to like make sure you are going to be pretty stable or maybe have your subject on something and not miss it, because I don't really think it's any good to miss a shot because you used a differential that you were not able to get the stack complete, the bracket complete before the subject moved. So you also have to take that into consideration, take your stability, the subject being still, your camera power, your flash power, and then your PC power into consideration, as well as your level, your experience level in the genre and in the like technique of focus bracketing. And you also have to like take into consideration how well you can focus stack. I mean, focus stacking, a lot of times the subject is going to have part of it move, maybe like its hair, or maybe if it's holding a prey it's going to move, or maybe you're not just going to be be the same position you were at the start, maybe a little bit of shake from you. So in that situation, if you're using a differential like one, it's going to be very difficult to like correct it and just make the stack flawless. So if you are using a focus differential like one or maybe even two, just know that in case of any shake or things like that, having to retouch the shot is going to be more difficult than someone that use focus differential at three or four. And that is because in just one frame, they'll be able to identify the problem. But if you're using focus differential one, your problem may have to like be visible in like two or three frames. So that is another downside of using focus differential one. For me, I use focus differential two. I'm using the OM1 and the Olympus 60 macro. I think it's a very sweet spot for this setup and maybe my experience level and the PC I own. So I just try to find balance. There is no right or wrong focus differential. You just have to find which one works best for you and find balance. So that's it.
So I should also add this info, and it's based on the calculation I did, and I'm going to just like let you know how I arrived at this. When I did the selections for the shots that were going to be stacked, I didn't start from when the bracket actually started. So I took the time that I actually did start the bracket from when the sound did beep, or like just make that bracketing sound, and then I took away a second or maybe half a second from it, and that was how I arrived at this number. So for focus differential one, we have 7 seconds and it gave us 65 shots, that is 65 frames. And at focus differential two, we had 3 seconds and it gave us 31 frames. And at focus differential 3, we had 2.5 seconds and it gave us 21 frames. And at focus differential 4, we had 2 seconds and it gave us 15 frames. Now, if you're looking at this, you see that for me, I just feel like focus differential 2 is the sweet spot because it took just 3 seconds and gave us adequate number of frames, which is 31. And focus differential one did double that by having like 7 seconds and giving us 65 number of frames, which I feel it being too extended, not every subject may wait for you to just complete that bracket, you know. So I think focus differential two is just the all-round sweet spot, unless maybe you're obsessed with sharpness and all of that. Focus differential three and four, they aren't bad as well, but I'd recommend three over four, and just three and two. Those are the best in my opinion, depending on your experience level and camera model. Focus differential one, I think it just takes too much time, too many shots, and it could be too heavy for your PC. So I just had to add this.
Thank you so much for sticking around. I'm David Joseph at ABCD David. You can shoot me a message on Instagram. And if you found this video very helpful, do well to subscribe because I post contents like this, and leave a like. And you can also donate a coffee to support me and support the channel so I can keep making videos like this more consistently. So that's it. Peace and out.